Let's get into some game picks, folks. We've got to catch Addison. We were right there last week. We had a tie in first place last week, and then he rattles off a 12-win week. Absolutely crazy. I mean, I was going through them and I was like, win. Oh, loss, win. I was like, what the hell, man?
Let's go crazy.
You were on your own on like 3 picks, and you were perfect on your own, 3-0 on your own. Like that's a little obnoxious, honestly. You got to relax, dude. Thursday night football, we've got an AFC North grudge match. Cincinnati Bengals going to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The line is Baltimore -6.5 points. Addison, I'm going to start with you. What do you got in this one?
Start with me. What a dick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What was the line? I'm sorry.
6.5 for Baltimore.
6.5. Okay. I like that number for a couple of reasons, but I'm actually going to go with a team I don't like it as much for. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals here. It's because of Joe Burrow. And the Ravens offense will score points. That is undoubted. And they will put up a good amount of points and most likely win this football game because the Bengals defense is hot cheeks. But the Bengals offense and Joe Burrow is damn good as well. And if the Ravens defense cannot step up, Joe Burrow will make you pay. I mean, he started last week. I don't know exactly what it was. I think it was 13 of 13. If not, I mean, it was at minimum 10 of 10, and he was absolutely shredding, and it's just going to continue. He's playing some of the best football he has ever played in his career right now, and it sucks that the Bengals are a losing football team, but it was a dominant performance last week, and this is an opportunity to get a game back in that division and help my outrageous take of them winning the division from a couple weeks ago. Still got life, and it's all because of Joe Burr. So give me those Bengals plus the 6.5.
Yeah, I thought that I'm sure a lot of people are going to love that 6.5 Baltimore line. Like, you absolutely love that hook. Baltimore's not, they can't, I don't care where they're playing. Baltimore isn't going to beat them by 6.5 points. The way that Cincinnati's offense is playing. Lamar can score 40. So can Joe Burrow in this offense against that Baltimore defense. Like, that defense is nothing special. These teams played earlier when Cincinnati was bad. Like, they hadn't won a game yet bad. And they took them all the way to the wire, 41-38 in overtime. Cincinnati's playing better football.
Could have won. Fumbled a field goal snap, you know.
Yep, literally could have won that football game when the Bengals hadn't. I think they had just won their first game against the Panthers the week before. So they were a reeling football team. They were 1-3, and they nearly beat the Ravens. I know it's in Baltimore, but AFC North matches, like, it's going to be close, guys. It's AFC North versus AFC North. These teams do not blow each other out at all. 6.5 points is way too many. Give me Cincinnati. Colin.
Addison, I think you hit it right on the head with Joe Burrow. If this Cincinnati Bengals team was like their record was better, he'd be much more. He's already in the MVP conversation, just the way he's been playing, but he'd be maybe front running that conversation if they had a better team overall record. He's been playing absolutely outstanding. I really want to go Cincinnati with you guys, and I think I'm going to. I'm going to go Cincinnati with you guys. I was trying to talk myself into Baltimore, but 6.5 for that matchup on a Thursday night too. Thursday nights are weird. Give me the Bengals.
Okay. Bobby, what you got?
You're about to do it. I got Cincinnati plus the 6.5.
Oh, no.
You know, Sage is picking Cincinnati as well.
100%. 100%.
So with it being, division game, like I said, I mean, that division always beats up on each other. And Joe Burrow's playing the best football I've seen him play. I also think this is a weird thing. I think with all being out for the Bengals, that gives Gesicki a chance to be their number one tight end, which I think he's a really good receiver, and I think that does help Burrow as well in this situation.
Yeah.
So, absolutely hit him with the gritty. So give me the Bengals plus the 6.5. So,
do I make a last minute pivot and go by myself on the Ravens? Just kidding.
You do?
I won't do that. I'm not doing that. But I will say this before we jump to the next game. I'm looking on FanDuel. Over is the over is 52.5. Excuse me. Take that. These teams score points against each other. I said it the first matchup. They did. They will score points in this matchup. Both bad defenses. Take the over 52.5. It will hit.
Yeah, 100% hit it. Yeah, I love that. And you got, I mean, Sage hasn't sent me his picks, but we all know he's going to take Cincy. So that's going to be a 5-guy sweep on a Thursday. We're all starting 0-1, baby.
Yep. That's the one pick we can guarantee from Sage, and it's Cincinnati plus 6.5.
Yeah, 100%.
Turn City 0-1 to start the week. We love it.
Yes. All right, Sunday, we've got Germany's punishment for World War II. This is the final part of the treaty. This is their game for the year. They get the Giants against the Panthers. The line is Giants minus 5.5. Bobby, I want to start with you because I'm sure you're excited about this one. What are your thoughts here?
Can't even sleep tonight. I'm so excited about it. But No, I got the Panthers plus 5.5 in this one. It's a stinky pick and I love it. So I think Bryce Young did look a little bit better. Um, honestly, this game's a stinker, but Daniel Jones had a good game last week. He's such a mediocre quarterback that really, really makes me think he's gonna have a terrible game this week. He's just not good in any sense of the term. So I got Panthers plus 5.5. I'm gonna be sleeping in on Sunday because I really don't care about this game whatsoever. So
This one does not matter. This is a
yeah, so
This is 2-2-7 teams that are playing for the number one pick. So honestly, I'd bet the under in this football game because neither team wants to win. Neither team really can win. And when you have two crappy teams, you're going to give one of them 5.5 points. I'm going to take the 5.5 points and take Carolina. I was going to take Carolina last week, and Addison talked me out of it and then took Carolina against me. Unbelievable how that works.
Woo!
So I'm going to take them, and don't even try and talk me out of it. I'm taking Carolina this week plus the 5.5. Addison, what's your pick in this
All right.
one?
Well, can I talk you out of them if I
No.
tell you this?
No, you cannot.
They're a really bad football team, and they just snuck out a victory.
That's
You know
true.
things are going to hit the fan here because it's reality coming back to them. As gross as it is, I'm taking the Giants here minus 5.5. I'm not confident in it because I could see it being a close game and the Panthers using those 5.5. But things went well for them last week enough that they were able to sneak out a victory, like I said. And I just think that they come back down to earth. Bryce Young, I do like how he's played since he's came back in. The Panthers just suck, and he's on a really bad team. He's trying his best. They should not get rid of him. But I'm going to take the Giants here minus 5.5. Go Danny Dimes.
Go Danny Dimes. Colin, thoughts?
I'm with you, Addison, there on the Giants. I think this defensive line is going to be too much for Bryce Young in that offense with Carolina. We'll take a quick victory lap on Carolina. I sent it in our group chat. Give me Carolina plus the 7. They're going to win this game. Give me the money line. They ended up winning the game, but they're not going to win. They're not going to cover this week. Give me the Giants.
Okay. Bobby.
Had that feeling last week.
You nailed that. That was impressive. All right, moving on into the Sunday noon slate, we've got an AFC West matchup. Denver Broncos going to the Chiefs. The line is Chiefs minus 8.5. I'm going to lead us off here, and I'm taking the Broncos plus 8.5. It's stinky. It's super stinky. They're coming off an ugly loss. I think that how many times did the Chiefs cover this many points? Man, they never, ever do it. They just can't do it. The Broncos play them close. They did last year. I think the Broncos may have been, you can't look past the Ravens, but divisional matchup, 8.5 points is just too many for me for a team that doesn't cover this many points. They just don't do it. Give me the Broncos plus 8.5. Addison, you got a little smirk. What? Let's hear it.
No, I just was laughing because you're like, oh, you can't look past the Ravens. And I'm like, that's so true, though.
I was going to say, they might have been looking past their opponent, but it's the Ravens. You can't look past them.
No. But it is a division game, so maybe they were a little bit. Who knows? Because at the same time, they're 5-4. They're competing for the playoffs as crazy as it is in the AFC. They need this game. They definitely want to ruin the Chiefs' perfect season if they can. And if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be a division opponent.
Yep.
It's going to be some funky game. They should not lose. I hate that I'm on the Broncos because I was on them last week, and they got destroyed by the Ravens. It wasn't even close. Bo Nix missed a couple big plays that maybe the game changes early, but will he hit those against the Chiefs? I don't know. You know what? Screw it. I'm taking the Chiefs minus 8.5 just because D-Hop, Kareem Hunt, Kelsey, McDuffie on that defense, Chris Jones, just naming elite players. But guess what? That actually helps. And Patrick Mahomes, first off, can dislocate his knee or whatever the hell he did, hyperextend it, tear his ACL, and then continue to play and be elite. Patrick Mahomes is elite. That's all. Chiefs.
Fair. Great point. Bobby, thoughts?
Broncos plus 8.5. I got Surtain giving D-Hop the strap. I think that, division game. I also like Bo Nix. He's been playing, honestly, not as bad as I thought he was going to play this year, especially when he realized he has the number one receiver, Cortland Sutton. So I love the Chiefs to win this game, but I do think 8.5 is a lot, especially for a division opponent. And I really don't think the Broncos are as bad as, I thought they'd be coming into the season. Decently well-coached team. So like I said, like the Chiefs to win, but I do like the Broncos to cover. And once again, D-Hop's getting that strap all week.
I love it. Colin, what you got in this one?
I like Bob's rationale there. I do think Pat Surtain can get the best of D-Hop. I do like the Broncos front seven defensively. It's been one of the most underrated kind of units, if you will, to this point in the season. And I said it last week. I'm not taking the Chiefs if they're more than -7. So I'm not taking them in this game. Give me Denver with the 8.5.
This is me all alone with the Chiefs, laughing
I
it
hate
up.
that.
Woo!
Clerk's gotten too good at the emotes in this damn app.
Yeah.
We got to go to a new streaming thing.
Come on.
All right, Steelers at Commanders. Commanders -3. Colin, I'm coming right back to you to lead us off for this one. Who you got in this game?
I know Tomlin's not no Andy Reid, not no Mike McCarthy coming off the bye, but give me those Pittsburgh Steelers coming off the bye this week to cover the +3 in Washington against the Commanders. I said it earlier in the power rankings. I still don't fully trust the Commanders, but they have just been winning. I like Tomlin to come in and kind of wreck that show this weekend.
Okay, I like it. Addison.
Yeah, Colin. Winner of this game probably stays in my power rankings if it's Washington, jumps in if it's Pittsburgh. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh here as well. I think Washington played a really good defense against Chicago, and guess what? They scored field goals and had a touchdown late to win. I don't think Pittsburgh will give them that opportunity. Their defense is gonna wreak havoc in this game, and Russell Wilson's gonna do enough to score touchdowns, and it'll just be enough to get the victory and hopefully the cover as well. But I'm riding with Pittsburgh in that defense, like you said, Chiefs. It's Tomlin. Let's go and wreck this rookie's confidence a little bit and end their hot streak that they are on. So give me Pittsburgh.
Okay, Bobby.
I got Pittsburgh +3. I think Najee Harris has also looked a lot better. The past few games, they've finally been able to get the rushing attack going. Hopefully Russ mitigates mistakes and Watt's going to get to the quarterback. So I got Pittsburgh +3. I do think Washington's a great team. But I think this is one of those games where Tomlin does just put a lot of pressure on Daniels and sees where it goes. But I think that defensive team from Pittsburgh is gonna wreak some havoc, and at the end of the day, gonna be too much for the Commanders. So
Yeah, I know Tomlin's record against rookies isn't Bill Belichick like, but I'm certain it's good. And I wrote down the Steelers as soon as I saw the 3 points because at worst case, this pushes, in my opinion. I love the Steelers in this spot. The Commanders are a team that when they play against another physical team, they struggled. Like against the Bears, Addison, like you said, they went up against a good defense in the Chicago Bears. They got held to 18 points. When they played the Ravens earlier, 23 points. When they play teams that can be physical with them at the line and not let them run this freestyle offense that Cliff Kingsbury likes to run, they struggle. And Pittsburgh is as physical of a team as you're going to see on your schedule for any team. They are in your face. It is ugly football. And the 3 points against the rookie quarterback, and it's Mike Tomlin. Man, I love that line. So I'm going to go with the Steelers, and we'll see what Sage does. It might be our second 5-person sweep. Next up, Minnesota Vikings at the Jaguars. The line is Vikings -4.5. This line kind of spooks me a little bit. I'm not sure where I'm going with this one. Addison, I'll start with you. What do you think here?
Gross. So you give me a tough one. Off rip. Well, the Jaguars like to keep things close, and they somehow make things a game late against the Eagles last week. Minnesota got the ship a little bit right against the Colts, but it was because of the disastrous game from the Colts offense. We'll get into that when we talk about the Colts, but the Vikings, I don't want to say they won the football game. I mean, they played better, but the Colts played really bad. I'm going to go Jacksonville here, as gross as it is, but I just think it'll be a close game. And I mean, they've played pretty much everybody close this year, so I'm going to ride with the Jaguars. I was high on them at the start of the season, and they're 2-7. So let's rock. Let's die with the ship. Come on.
Respect. I respect that. I keep going back and forth on this one, man. This one's so tough for me for some reason. It's just what kind of offense are we going to see out of Minnesota? I mean, they put up 21, 20, 29, 23. Like they're right in that range. Can the Jaguars put up that many points and keep it close? The Jags just did it against Philly. Hopefully they put up good numbers against Philly without Brian Thomas Jr., and without Christian Kirk, who's obviously still out. I think the Jags offense is not the problem. It's their defense. So I'm going to take the home Jaguars plus the 4.5 points. I like them with that number. I just don't have a lot of faith in Minnesota right now. I wasn't impressed. I mean, Joe Flacco gave them that game. If the Colts had any competent offense in that game, the Colts might win that game outright, not just cover. Their offense didn't look great. Darnold, 3 touchdowns, great. 2 interceptions. He's going up against a defense that's similar to the Colts, in my opinion, but an offense that is much better. So give me the Jaguars. Colin.
Looking at the games this week, this might be the one that I was the least confident in picking, just because that number 4.5 is so interesting. Because even if they win by 4, they still don't cover the Vikings. I think the Vikings are much more complete team than the
Yep.
Jaguars, but I am going to take Jacksonville with the 4.5. Just a weird number. Give me the Jags. If this game was played a month later, I like them even more. Minnesota obviously going to a hot weather team, but give me the Jags here in this spot.
Okay, Bobby.
You don't got to worry about sweeping. Give me the Vikings minus the 4.5. I think the Vikings offense is a pretty competent offense. I think that the only difference between this and the Colts game is the interior pressure that Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner were able to create. I don't think the Jags can replicate. I know they are out Christian Darrisaw. Robinson came in and played a really good game from the Jags. So hopefully, they're able to chip, do what they can. KOC will do a decent job of getting them help on the edges. I know Walker's looked a lot better for the Jags. That's really, if the pass rush can get home, that'd be where it kind of concerns me. Even though we pressured Darnold, he did a really good job getting the ball out quick. Just no one's going to be able to cover Justin Jefferson. I think the Vikings offense is a little too potent. And without having as many weapons, I think the Vikings are going to be able to bring as much pressure as they want with that Flores defense. And hopefully just absolutely dominate the Jags, and kind of prove last week was a little bit of a fluke for the Jags. I don't really think they're that great of a team. So
Okay.
Yeah, I don't just to touch on the Vikings really quick. I mean, Jefferson absolutely went nuclear and they didn't score until the third quarter. Sam Darnold maybe showing his cracks a little bit. The
Yeah.
interceptions to the Zaire Franklin was
Yeah.
was really bad throw, really bad decision. And it's just I wonder if Darnold's coming back to reality a bit. I mean, there's talks that JJ's traveling with the team and his rehab it's becoming almost more football work than rehab work. And who knows if he gets healthy, what they do. I mean, obviously, if they continue to win, they'll probably stay Darnold, but we'll see. We'll see. I think Darnold's showing his cracks a little bit.
it
Yeah.
also is dependent on what Trevor Lawrence we see as well. I know beginning of the season he was having one of the worst completion percentage. He was very inaccurate with a lot of his throws. So I think this game does come down to quarterback, and I just have a little bit more faith in the offensive mind of KOC. So hopefully Vikings cover that 4.5.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence looked rough this past week against the Eagles. I mean, 16 of 31, a buck 69, and 2 interceptions. No passing touchdowns, no running
Right.
game to speak of. I mean, they didn't deserve to cover that game.
Right.
The Eagles just gave it to him. The Trayvon Walker touchdown on the fumble, which he was down. They tripped him, and he fell down, and the ground caused the fumble. But they said, oh, he wasn't touched. Whatever, besides the point.
As long
Either
as
way.
they don't go for 2 every time, the Vikings.
Sounds like you were on the Eagles last week.
Sounds like I was on the Eagles last week.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
hurt. I wish they would have just lost, bitches. All right, let's get into the NFC South matchup. Falcons at Saints. The line is Falcons minus 3.5. You guys know what this game is for me. You guys already know. It is a couple of things. It's a home division dog. It's a new coach bump. It's that new coach smell, baby. Absolutely love that. And these two teams played earlier, and it was a 2-point game. It's only a 2-point game. I'm going with the Saints at home, and it's going to kill me again because every time I take the stupid Saints, they lose. So I'm going to take the Saints. I'm going to let it happen one more time. They can hurt me once more, and then next week they can hurt me one more time, and we'll just do that throughout the whole season. Give me the Saints plus 3.5, baby. Love that hook. Colin.
Looking at my picks so far, I've taken 4 of 5 dogs, and the one favorite I'm backing is the Giants. So that terrifies me as is. I do like what you're saying, Nate. Home division dog, new coach bump. Derek Carr is getting called out from ex-players, which is hilarious. But give me Atlanta here. I think they're actually hitting their stride. It's not just the fact they beat the hell out of my team this past week, but I do think Atlanta and that Kirk offense is rolling right now.
Okay, Addison.
Yeah, I'm all over the Falcons here as well. Screw the new coach bump. It works for some teams, doesn't for others. And I think the Saints team has realized Derek Carr is a hospital quarterback. And as much as Michael Thomas is talking shit from the not in the locker room, but it's all sort of true. Derek Carr got multiple players hurt. Chris Olave, another concussion. I mean, it's to the point now where if he's not wearing a Guardian cap and another one happens, it's got to be what's going on because it's
4 concussions.
it's
I haven't
getting
heard a
up there.
single person say he should retire. What's up with that?
Getting up there. I mean, his brother got asked if it's worth it, and he said it's not in NOLA. So, but and then Juwan Johnson, I want to say their tight end also got rocked because of a Derek Carr ball. So I just don't believe in the Saints right now. I don't think a coach is going to change that. Dennis Allen, it was just time. Give me those Falcons, like you said, see if they have hit their stride. The offense, well-oiled machine, two-headed monster in the backfield, and Kirk spreads the love. They got targets everywhere. Give me Atlanta.
Right. Bobby.
Of home division dogs, and I love that new coach bump. And for that reason, give me the Falcons minus 3.5. I just think the Saints are stinky cheese.
They're so
They got
bad.
all their players tweeting after the game about how bad of a loss it is, things of that nature. I just think there's no camaraderie in the locker room. I think Carr is one of the most overrated quarterbacks there's been within the recent memory, past 10 years. Noah Olave from, everything I would see. Obviously, I know Kamara's a stud. Shout out, have him in fantasy, but I think the Falcons offense is very potent. I think Mooney's going absolutely berserk with them as well. And I like the Falcons -3.5 in this one. So
Yeah, Cam Jordan apologizing to the fans because saying we lost to Carolina. Really?
Yeah.
Like whatever. It's like, damn, that's tough. That's tough when he's saying that.
That's pretty bad, man.
You
cannot
think
lose to Carolina.
you think Dennis Allen just like totally resents Derek Carr?
oh,
I
got
mean,
to.
it's the second time he's got him fired mid-season. Second time.
And if Derek Carr loses this game, he has officially lost to, isn't it every single team in the NFL, all 32?
Oh.
Well, so they would have lost earlier this season, right? Because Koo hit that field goal. I think I saw something like him and
Or
his
was that
brother-
against, no, that's against the Raiders or Saints no, it's against the Raiders when they play them next, I think.
Got it.
I think I saw something. It was like David Carr is like the most losing quarterback through like 4 seasons, 5 seasons, 6 seasons, like 7 seasons, I want to say. And then it's Derek Carr is the most losing quarterback that's played 8
Oh.
seasons, 9 seasons, 10 seasons. And he's tied right now for 11 seasons. So if he loses one more game, he'll be the losingest quarterback who's played 11 seasons.
Yeah.
And he's getting paid money too by a team that
So
does
shout
not
out those
have cap.
Carr brothers. Shout
Yeah,
out.
right. Just generational losers. Generational. All right, moving on to the 49ers at Bucks. Line is 49ers -5.5 points. Bobby, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts on this one?
This was one for you guys with the Vikings. I think I was kind of on this ship. I think this line's a little bit interesting for me. I am going to be rocking with the 49ers -5.5. But with the Buccaneers having no offensive weapons, really, I guess for me, it was just a little bit. I know the Niners haven't been what they are, but even with Ayuk out, I still like the 49ers. I think the defense comes to play, makes it very hard for Baker. And hopefully the offense can get going even with Vita Vea clogging up the center. So I do like the 49ers in this one. And I think they kind of start to right the ship and become that dominant team that, we kind of thought they would be coming into the season. So
Yeah, they're a weird team at 4-4 for sure. I do think that, I mean, who's been Baker's #1 target since his lost his receivers? What? All right, so was it the China? Shout out China. Is that what I'm
Shout out
saying?
China. What's up?
Shout out China. His #1 receiver since he lost his receivers has been Cade Otton. Well, Fred Warner's pretty damn good at middle linebacker and can cover that tight end position. So now it's all running game against the 49ers front that can still stop the run. I will say in defense of Todd Bowles, I don't think I would have gone. I don't know. Going for 2 against the Chiefs last night. That's all anyone's talked about today. I think you do it, but the problem is that. So Nick Wright, of course, explained this best. I listened to him today. Basically, he said that if you go for 2 and get it, you're giving Patrick Mahomes the ball with 30 seconds and 3 timeouts. You think he's not going to get the field goal? Come on. But if you go to overtime, he's going to play it a lot more conservative. There's no need to push the ball down the field. And it's now a coin flip. Do we get the ball and go score, or do the Chiefs get the ball and go score? So I see it from both sides. I want aggressive football. So if I'm the Bucks, I'm like, screw it. Why not? We have a chance to beat the defending champs undefeated at home. But then it's like if you go to overtime and you get the ball and you go score a touchdown, everyone's like, that was brilliant. You play for overtime, you go score. I see both sides of it.
Well, I just want to say this because Todd Bowles is an idiot because not because he didn't go for 2, but because he called a timeout when they got to the 1-yard line with 30 seconds left. You let that clock dwindle. Who cares if you guys run out of time or they get the ball back with 5 seconds left? Who cares? Call that timeout at 15 seconds or 10 seconds and run a couple plays, 12, whatever, or get up to the line and run a couple and have the timeout in your back pocket. And then if you score with 10 seconds left, then you have the conversation about the 2, because then good luck, Patrick Mahomes. I do like Nick Reich's argument. If the Chiefs were down 1, they were winning the football game in regular.
They're winning. Yep.
Simple. Because Patrick Mahomes would have known we need a field goal. We will get one. And I'm sorry. I believe that would have happened. Who knows? It's coulda, woulda, shoulda, but I like to think it would have. Todd Bowles should have not called the timeout when tackled at the 1-yard line. Plenty of time to get to the ball. Have another play called into the headset. You don't even need to huddle. Just get to the line, look around. That's where I'm disappointed at in Todd Bowles. Really bad clock management. It was good that they got to overtime. It did get to a coin toss. So, hey, it worked out. but I think they should have bled the clock, scored a touchdown, and then potentially gone for 2, because then it's go win or you lose. Simple as that. Good luck, Mahomes, scoring in 10 seconds, 9 seconds, whatever. He probably could, but who knows?
Well, and you can justify 13 seconds. That seems to be the cutoff.
Yeah.
Ask Bills fans.
Yeah.
You can justify going for 2 against it and be like, yeah, I wanted to try to win the football game. I'm sorry. Like, I wanted to win the football game. Instead, you left it up to a coin toss, and Patrick Mahomes got the ball, and Baker Mayfield's face said it best. He's like, oh, we lost the game. Yeah, we lost. Okay, understood. Because they weren't going to stop him, and he knew it. That all being said, I am going to take the 49ers minus 5.5 points. Long walk for a short drink of water there. Give me the Niners minus 5.5. Addison, I'm coming to you.
I'm on the Bucks plus the 5.5. I think even without their weapons at receiver, Baker is going to be frisky enough to keep this game close. And at the end of the day, the 49ers, they're good. And I think that Christian McCaffrey, will see when he's back. He's coming soon. I just don't believe in them all the way. I mean, they're 4-4 coming off the bye. It's big, but still, I'm going with the Bucks here. They just played the Chiefs close, and they're at home. I think they will play these 49ers close, potentially even get a upset victory.
Okay, upset victory. I like that. Bobby, bring us home on this one. No, Colin, bring us home on this one. God dang it. I always think it's Bobby. I don't know why. Colin, bring us home on this one.
I always say Baker Mayfield is one of my favorite players to watch in the NFL. He's a gamer. That guy's incredible. Loved his reaction as well in overtime. You just know Chiefs getting the ball first, what they're going to do with that ball. In this game, though, I do like Shanahan coming off the bye. I've seen reports Jawan Jennings and McCaffrey are supposed to be active this week. I'm holding my breath on McCaffrey. I don't buy that for a second until I see it. But give me San Francisco on the road to cover that 5.5.
Okay. Bills at Colts. Line is Bills minus 4.5 points. Addison, what's your thoughts on this football game?
Well, with the way the Colts looked, I'm taking the Bills. It's as simple as that. I don't think things are going to change. They might play a little bit better, but man, Joe Flacco looked like piss. I'll let Bob really get into it because he's the big Colts fan. But absolutely, the worst thing that could have happened for the Colts organization was that game from Joe Flacco. Absolutely proved it was the wrong choice immediately. If he has that game in 6 games from now, if they've gone 4-2, okay, who knows? It's just a bad one. Worst case scenario that was the first start for Flacco. Bills are rolling. Give me the Bills minus whatever it is. It was 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, I'm on the Bills minus 4.5. I'd be on the Bills minus 9.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Bills minus 4.5. The Bills' only real struggling on the defensive side of the ball is typically on the ground. You can have a good running game against them. The Colts haven't been the best running team, and Joe Flacco gives you no threat of an option play like Anthony Richardson does. Anthony Richardson's out there. You've got to keep. He keeps defenses honest. You have to play him. You do not have to worry about that with Joe Flacco. It's either a drop back and he's handing it off, or it's a play action, or it's just a drop back pass. There's nothing creative that he can do with his physical limitations at his ancient age. So give me the Bills minus 4.5. Colin.
Right there with you guys. I'm going to take the Bills here in the spot. Been pretty impressed about how they've been playing this year, and I just don't see them slowing down against Indy this week.
Bobby, talk to us.
Tough one. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I got the Bills minus 4.5, and I love that spread. I think that, like you mentioned, the Bills' only weakness really is running the ball. It's disgusting because we pulled Anthony Richardson. The yards per carry difference for Jonathan Taylor is 1.5 yards per carry with Richardson versus with Flacco. It's once again that +1 run scheme that Shane Steichen based this whole offense around. The reason why we drafted Anthony Richardson, it's not existent when you don't have a running quarterback in there. Ryan Kelly also did just go to IR. However, I will say I do think that is an upgrade for us. Tanner Bortolini's been playing insanely well at center position. And Bernard Ryman was out in concussion protocol. We'll see how that goes. But I have no faith in our weapons on the outside besides Josh Downs, with Pittman still being injured. It really scares me. So, and I think our defense played one of the best games it has all season last week. I don't see us replicating that against the Bills whatsoever. So I do have the Bills minus the 4.5. The Boo Birds will be out in Indy, free 5 signs everywhere. We're just, it's disgusting how we handled this situation. We're a poverty franchise, and Jim Irsay needs to sell the team. So also we'll say shout out, if you have not, shout out, no free shout outs. We'll say go watch the Anthony Richardson video if you haven't already. I know we discussed it in a little bit more depth there, but yeah, I got the Bills minus 4.5 this week, and like I said, the Boo Birds will be out in force. So
good. Let them hear it. Gotta let them hear it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Patriots at Bears. The line is Bears minus 6 As you guys know, I've really had my finger on the pulse of the Bears season all year long. I've been crushing it, picking them just like I did last year. It's the New England Patriots. They're a bad football team. They won their last, no, they just lost to the Titans, who are an equally bad football team. And they only won because Drake May they only even took it to overtime because Drake May made some magic happen to cover make it a push in the 3 points. So I'm taking the Bears minus 6.5 here. Bears bounce back. I mean, I know Addison, you said last week it was must win against Arizona. This one is very truly a must win game. Also, Bears are at home. I heard this stat from on the Pardon My Take. Bears on the road under Matt Eberflus on Sundays are 0-18. They cannot win on the road on Sundays. Well, fortunately for them, they are at home against an absolutely garbage team in the New England Patriots who could not beat the Titans, which the Bears have already done. Give me the Bears minus 6.5. Colin.
Gone back and forth a lot because I do agree Bears at home versus Bears on the road, much different team. This is a game where either the Bears get up for Matt Eberflus, hey, we're going to show out, we're going to save this guy's job, we want him as our coach, or this is a game where, well, I like to think he still has the locker room. Well, I like to say yes, he still has the locker room, or they're just going to quit on him, say, hey, we're tired of his shit, get this guy out of here. So just that fact, I like the way Drake May has been playing to this point of the season. Give me the Patriots with the 6.5. I think the Bears win this game. I hope they win this game. For Addison's sake, obviously. But I don't know. So give me the Patriots with the points.
Okay. Bobby.
I think it's as must win as the Bears can have this season. I think this dictates the season going forward. Even I know you guys have a really tough schedule, but if you lose this game, that shows me Eberflus has done. Move on. Ben Johnson, get him on the phone ASAP. I do have the Bears minus 6.5 here. I think they are too talented of a team. And I think at the end of the day, you got to hope that the leaders in the locker room step up. The DJ Moores, I know he walked off the field, but at some point it's got to you just got to step up. And I think they're too talented of a team. I think Drake May, do love watching him play. And I do think the Patriots have their next quarterback of the future. But I got to hope that Bears defense wreaks some havoc. Caleb Williams hopefully comes out, looks sharp, takes the checkdowns. I know we've talked about that too, but give me the Bears minus the 6.5 in this one. So
I like it. Addison, thoughts on your Chicago Bears?
Yeah, if Matt Eberflus loses this football game, the Bears have to make history and fire a head coach for the first time mid-season. It just will be unacceptable to have been 4-2 with the bright future of the rest of the season in front of us to 4-5. These 3 games were 2-1, potentially 3-0. We could go 0-3. I am on the Bears minus 6.5. I'm riding with it and I'm dying with them. Yep. I need to see it from the offense. I will say this. Shane Waldron ridiculed heavily after the first 3 weeks. Big bounce back game the next 2. But here's 2 losses in a row again. A chance where he's been ridiculed and saying he should potentially lose play calling. Let's see if he can bounce back. Hopefully the defense plays inspired. And hopefully we get back Kyler Gordon. Maybe Jaquan Brisker can come back from his concussion 3 weeks ago. But hey, he's not healthy. He shouldn't be out there. But we need him. We need him bad. Need Kyler Gordon. I will say this. Yeah, Bears undefeated at home, even when their fake home game in London. So I'm taking the Bears minus the 6.5. Just need to see it from the offense. And Caleb, you don't have to hit a home run every play. I know you're not listening to this, but if you are, please don't hit a home run every play, man. It's all right to check down. You don't go broke taking a profit. I've seen everybody saying it, and it's just the damn truth.
Yeah, and like that was the game against the Jacksonville was the first like actual game away from Soldier Field that Eberflus won on a Sunday, and it was their home game, so it doesn't count. But yeah, 4-0 at home, 0-4 on the road at home against a dog shit Patriots team. Love them in that spot. Next up, the Tennessee Titans travel to LA to take on the Chargers. Line is Chargers minus 7.5. Colin, this has always been your team. What are your thoughts on this game?
LA Chargers coming for the AFC West title. No, I'm kidding. Not this year, maybe next year. Give me the Chargers here at home, though. Big spread. Normally, I don't like to go with those big spreads. But just the way they're playing recently, I know the Browns aren't any, great team to speak of, but the Chargers went in and took care of business. I just don't see how the Titans move the ball against the number 1 scoring defense with the Chargers. So give me the Harbaughs minus the 7.5.
Yeah, they could win this game 14-3. Like I could very easily see it as being like a 14-3 win. I think Chargers win and cover this game. Their last 2 games, I mean, they played the Saints with Spencer Rattler and they won 26-8, and they played the Browns with Jameis Winston. They won 27-10. Where like I said last week, they actually caught the interceptions that Jameis Winston was trying desperately to throw. That's the difference in that game. Chargers playing good football, man. Quentin Johnston last week, 4 for 118, a touchdown on a long one. J.K. Dobbins looks good. They're rolling. They're rolling. They're playing really good complementary football. The defense is looking sharp. Their pass rush is getting after it. They're buying into the system, and that just goes to show you how much a good coach, how important that shit is in the NFL, man. Love the Chargers minus 7.5 in this spot. I really do think that this is probably like genuinely like a 21-3, 21-6 type of game. So give me the Chargers. Bobby, I'm coming to you.
I will say coming into the season, I don't want to say I was completely sold on Harbaugh. I know coaching obviously matters in the NFL, but with this spot, I love the Chargers minus 7.5. I think it all comes down to coaching at the end of the day. Um, I do think it'll be a very, very, very low scoring game as well. But like I said, the Chargers have been shaking and grooving, and I love them minus the 7.5 here. So once again, I do think low scoring game, but I think they can cover that spread of 7.5. So
Okay. I like that. Addison.
Tennessee needs to play Will Levis unless this is some serious injury. He needs to be the guy because I think at this point it's just Mason Rudolph playing. They won the game in spite of Mason Rudolph last week because the Patriots are just that bad. At the end of the day, you just got to trot Levis back out there, see if it gets better because it's the same situation pretty much with all the young quarterbacks around the league. I've been saying it. I don't think Bryce Young should have been benched. I don't think Rich should have been benched. And if Will Levis has been benched, I don't think he should be. And he needs to be playing. And it doesn't matter, though, who's quarterback in this game. I'm taking the LA Harbaughs. I mean, they're in the playoff right now. Playoff picture, they're the 6th seed comfortably because of the bye. But if they win this game, they move to 6-3. I really like their chances. And at the end of the day, Khalil Mack has gotten a sack in multiple games in a row. He's looking like he's a little bit younger than he is, and the defense is playing well. And I know this. If it comes down to playoff football, you do not want to play a team that can run the ball, hold time of possession, and play some stingy defense. And at the end of the day, that's what Harbaugh's turned this damn Chargers team into somehow. And then on top of it all, your quarterback is Justin Herbert. So when back's against the wall, I still believe in that guy, and I like to think he's a top quarterback in this league. And they just don't even have to use him like they need to potentially. And give me those Chargers here, though, minus the big spread. I do not care.
Okay. All righty.
also
Moving
want Will
on.
Levis to play for the memes. Come on, every
Yeah,
week he has a
we
great
need the
name.
memes
We
back.
need those
Need
memes
those
back.
memes
Come
back.
on.
Agreed. Next up, we've got an NFC East showdown between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys, who, to be frank, their season is on life support. At this point,
over.
like it is on life support. It's not over until I see the eliminated graphic on Twitter. That's when it's over, damn it. And Cooper Rush, 2 years ago, 5-1 as a starter. 5-1 as a starter.
He was throwing some good
Jerry
balls.
meant when he said all in. This is what Jerry meant.
All in on Cooper
Now we're bringing
Rush.
Cooper Rush in and we're gonna go 5-1.
This
We're not
is
out of it.
something, and I do not want to trash the Cowboys, but I do not mind trashing Jerry Jones, especially as a GM. Why did we give up a 4th-round pick for Trey Lance just to trot Cooper Rush out there in a game that we don't expect to win? Why would you not? Like the picks that went right after that 4th-round pick were Braylon Allen to the Jets, looks pretty damn good. Isaac Guerrero to the 49ers looks pretty damn good. And there was another running back in there too. Any of those guys would look fantastic on Dallas. Instead, you spend a premium draft pick. 4th-round pick is a great draft pick on a quarterback who does he look that bad in practice to where you genuinely are like, no, I can't throw him out there. Like it'll be awful. Like who cares if it's awful? You're sending Cooper Rush out there. What's the point? It's 7 points. I was going to go with the Cowboys. I have fully talked myself into the Eagles minus 7 points here. These two teams played with Cooper Rush on the field a couple of years ago, and the Eagles won by 9. I think the Eagles are just rolling right now, man, and the Cowboys are going to be without their quarterback, probably without CeeDee Lamb, without Micah Parsons. I mean, all the stars that the Cowboys have are not going to be playing in this football game. So can we see an inspired, emotional game from the Cowboys? No, I'm afraid not. Give me the Eagles minus 7. Addison.
I did see Parsons was trending in the right direction, but with that getting put on the IR, you slow that bitch way down because what is the point?
Yep.
I hate to say it, Cease, because it sucks, man. With 3-5, with Dak on the IR, I mean, was he officially placed or is that still just the plan?
Not official yet.
Either way, if he goes to the IR, you're 4 weeks without your starting quarterback, and CeeDee Lamb's right shoulder is skating on thin ice right now, man. That's another hit away from a broken collarbone. Who knows? Let's not rush him back either. Give me those Eagles strictly because the Cowboys just might be playing guys that literally do not get reps. And if that's the case, I like Philly, potentially Steve's, like you said. Is this domination start to finish? I don't expect a major blowout, but I could see 28-14, 28-10, something along those lines. Steve's is saying belt to ass, and every time he says it, it's true. So give me those Eagles minus, again, the big spread. Do not care.
And I will say before you go, Bobby, not to cut off Bobby, which we all like to do. I did not mention the big addition for the Cowboys, Jonathan Mingo. Right, huge addition there, 4th round pick for him for a guy that may catch a pass this weekend. You will see. Belt to ass. Bobby, what are your thoughts on this game?
I was all in on the Eagles, but that Mingo really does sway me a good bit. So, I will say before I go, Steve, one thing that is good, this year's draft class for running backs is actually pretty impressive. Ollie Gordon, Genty coming out. So, you never know. Hopefully you guys can get some help there. But I got the Eagles -7. I think Saquon could go for 650 yards and 17 touchdowns. Hurts probably get about 4 or 5 of them as well. So give me the Eagles -7. So I'm sorry, Steves. If he hits a reverse hurdle on you guys, give him AP Offensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
Too impressive of a move.
As crazy as it is, and I just don't think the Cowboys offense is the problem. It is a major problem that needs fixed, but the defense is really bad. Obviously, players got hurt, and that is impacting it. But, man, it's tough. It's tough when Dak's got to be perfect, when you ask any quarterback to be perfect. Sorry to jump you, Chiefs.
And I'm going to jump Steves again. I think it's Jerry Jones is the problem.
No, that is definitely the truth. That is. Geriatric Jerry is the truth.
Yep, bingo. Speaking of geriatric Jerry, Colin, what are your thoughts on this game?
You see the name up there. Well, I already pulled out the belts, but you know what's happening here. Nick Sirianni, you know what he's all about. He's definitely going to be trying to run it up because why not? Dallas's run defense has been putrid all year. Here comes Philly with their O-line and Saquon Barkley. I think they win big. Obviously, I'm taking them with the 7. I had some other nonsense I was going to spew, but I've already forgotten it. Let me hate on the Saquon Barkley reverse hurdle if I can for half of a second. I'm seeing things saying this is like the greatest single play of all time. Let's think about other great plays. Odell Beckham's one-handed catch. Guess what that resulted in? A touchdown. Franco Harris's catch. If you want to go way back in history, what does that result in? A touchdown. Marshawn Lynch, Beastquake. What does that result in? A touchdown. What does Saquon Barkley's reverse hurdle result in? What, 4 more yards? Cool play, but maybe not the best play of all time. But give me Philly -7. They're going to be putting that belt to ass on Sunday.
I agree, man. If Saquon's coaches, if Philly's not looking at him going, never do that shit again. It was cool. Never do that shit again. It was great that
also he was like 3 inches from taking a helmet to sack. I mean, that is a tough angle to leave yourself exposed.
Yeah, exactly. Just please do not do that because it's like you said. Hey, if it's for a touchdown and to win the Super Bowl or get us to the Super Bowl, maybe. But that's it.
Was a cool ass play though. I'll give him some flowers. Cool. That was fucking crazy.
Wicked, though. It was wicked.
Yeah, that was nuts. Sorry, my internet connection is unstable, so I'm fighting through. Hopefully, I don't look ridiculous as I was frozen there for a split second.
Yeah, you were like,
No, yeah. Cowboy season's over. Basically, I'll just recap. Cowboy season over. Let's just get that 3rd place schedule next year and run it back. We'll go all in next year.
All in next year, Jerry. That's right. You can bring back Adrian Peterson.
So LeGarrette Blount's got to be out there somewhere. He's good for a couple of goal line carries.
True. I heard Nate just say no.
I'm back. Oh my God. We're fighting. It's someone's gnawing on the Ethernet cable. Jets and Cardinals. Cardinals -1.5. Addison, tough game for you. You go first.
I love Kyler Murray. It sucks that he beat the Bears. Guess what? Kyler Murray didn't do shit. The Bears beat themselves. Kyler Murray didn't even have a touchdown. He had about a $150 pass, and he looked good. And he's smart with the read options and keeping the ball, but I don't care. Jets have found their stride. Jets, Jets. This team is making the playoffs. You can book it. I'm betting it. I'll show the slip. 3-6 to playoffs. Give me those Jets.
Yeah. Jets season ends this weekend in Arizona as Arizona puts belt to ass and absolutely stomps them out. Give me Arizona -1.5. Colin.
If Arizona's offensive line, especially the interior of their offensive line, can hold their weight at all, I do like Arizona in this spot. I feel bad for Trey McBride. I think his only touchdown still on the year is a fumble recovery for a touchdown. and he was
ran one
wide
in
open on a
against the
play last
Bears.
week.
He
And
ran one in against the Bears, sadly.
he ran one into.
Yeah. He like rushed one on a jet sweep.
There was one later in the game too. He was just like back of the end zone, just like waving his arms and just missed him. But all that to be said, give me Arizona here. I just realized the Packers don't play. I'm gonna go on a little side tangent just for FYI. Just realized the Packers don't play this week. Pick the Jets to miss the playoffs, Cowboys to miss the playoffs, Packers to miss the playoffs before this season. Really, it's only up to the Packers because the Jets and Cowboys are pretty much their seasons are basically over, but not really quite yet. But Jordan Love, 10 picks through 9 games. Where's that media? Where's that national media?
Jim for
Yeah,
Malik
they paid
Willis.
him way
Last week
too
was
fast.
terrible. What'd you say, Bob?
Bench him for Malik Willis.
Bench him for Malik Willis.
Hey,
Pick
I
6,
said
Kirby
it,
Joseph.
and obviously it's hater talk coming from a Bears fan, but I said, man, I hope Jordan Love plays well enough to get a stupid contract. I didn't think it would be the biggest contract ever, but man, they potentially he could turn out fine, and who knows? They're doing damn good this year, but still, like you said, Colin, turnover machine. He's got to win stuff to be great, but man, if they somehow choke and don't make the playoffs, they're gonna look stupid.
I
Woo!
wonder if Tannenbaum's still taking him number 2 if they did a redraft of the whole league.
Oh my god.
That was a brilliant take.
That guy's
That was a brilliant take.
His trade for Garrett to the Lions is why he was fired. Nate, he was the Jet. He was the Dolphins guy, right?
I think it was the Jets. I think it was the Jets.
I know he was the Jets. I didn't know if he was ever involved with the Dolphins, but Nate's
That's an elite freeze frame though for Nate.
that is an elite freeze frame for Nate.
Bro, he's stressing.
Bye, Nate.
Bye, Nate. Good
Bye,
night.
Nate.
He was a Dolphins GM for a while. His ass.
Yeah, he was. Woo!
Hated that fucking guy. God dang it. Sunday Night Football, Lions Texans.
Wait.
What?
Give me the Jets plus the 1.5.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I can't hear what's happening.
No, that's all right.
Colin, who'd you take?
I took Arizona.
Arizona with me. Okay, fantastic. Damn you, internet. Hotels, man. Trash.
You did look stressed in that freeze
Yeah,
frame,
you
by the way.
did.
I hope your recording's the same as ours here because that'll be gold. So
I think it'll be Addison's. It's
Yeah.
typically Addison's recording.
So that will be in there.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at my Wi-Fi just go down. Now it's one black dot. That's all I got. I'm using every ounce of internet available.
that black dot's gonna fight like hell for you, Nate. Oh, there he goes again. Never mind.
Yeah.
I rolled over.
I'll jump in for him. He's on Frozen. He's on Frozen.
I'm gonna freak.
Sunday Night Football, like Nate was saying. Detroit Lions at the Houston Texans. I don't have the line for this game. 3.5?
3.5 Lions,
3.5 Lions. Okay. I will go first, and I like the Lions here. Bob, you touched on it. We were talking about power rankings. Houston Texans offensive line, really bad. CJ Stroud has came back to reality a little bit. Top 5 quarterback talks might be just a little bit premature. He's damn near close. And the Texans are winning football games, but when you're missing all your receivers, your offensive line is bad. It's tough to win football games as well. I don't think they're going to be able to do that against the Lions. Lion is disrespectful, in my opinion, especially since the Lions love to score points. I don't see how Houston can keep up. The Lions are going to score 35 plus. Seabass.
Right there with you. It's just Detroit till further notice, unless their line's just ridiculous one week. 3.5's not ridiculous enough for me to fade them. So give me Detroit on the road to beat Houston.
Yeah, for sure, man. Bobby, let's hear it.
Lions minus 3.5. I think this could be the week that Houston gets put on fraud alert playing a good team. I could see the Lions winning by, give me the Lions minus 13.5, minus 20.5. I mean, I think that this could get real ugly real quick. The Lions have been straight embarrassing teams. And like I said, I think the Houston O-line is going to continue to struggle. I don't think Slowick can drop a good enough scheme to get the ball out quick enough for CJ Stroud. And at the end of the day, the Lions are going to put up points no matter what. So I love the Lions minus 3.5 here.
Yeah, I'm with you. Lions minus 3.5. My internet bars are full again. We're back, baby.
Last thing on the Lions, just because I know we don't want to go too long on them, but I saw a tweet and it's so true. Defenders and just defenses in general get 10 to 12 carries of just David Montgomery down your throat, pause, and then the next quarter and a half, to 2 quarters, you get Jahmyr Gibbs, speed, Sonic and Knuckles, and then guess what? To end the game on fresh legs is here comes David Montgomery, probably one of the hardest runners, if not the hardest leg churner in all of football. And that's just good luck. And then on top of it, Goff is playing immaculate football. This is a big time spot for the Lions just to prove why they're where they are.
Just
Yeah,
to throw in a
Dolphins-
little
Go ahead.
Just throwing a little side piece real quick as well, because I know we don't want to take too long, but they showed a graphic during the game last week, and I don't know how many weeks out it was. I'm assuming it's 5-ish weeks out, maybe 6 weeks out. But the Lions as a team had scored 28 touchdowns to the point where they showed the graphic, and Goff had 24 incompletions in that same amount of span. So they had scored more team touchdowns than he'd thrown incompletions in that span. That's ridiculous.
That's insane.
I will always I'll fall on my sword, man. I said Goff sucked, and yeah, he was gonna suck in Detroit. I'm on my sword, big time dying, man, because
Yeah.
he's elite.
I give a lot of credit to Johnson. I give a lot of credit to Ben Johnson. Because you never know, like Goff looked good in LA for the Rams,
Yeah,
and then they
true.
just wanted to win it right away, and Goff wasn't there yet. So first 2 years or so in Detroit were dicey. But now he's got weapons galore. He's got the best. I mean, he has all day in the pocket. He has all day in the pocket every time he drops back. That offensive line, they built a brick wall in front of him. And you give Goff time, man, and he's gonna dice you up. All right, Monday Night Football. It's your Miami Dolphins traveling to LA to take on the Rams. Addison, the only one who correctly predicted Miami to break my heart. Honestly, you said it. It's going to be you, son of a bitch. I was thinking about you the whole game. I'm like, Addison's going to be right. He's going to be like, the Dolphins are going to lose, but they're going to keep it close just to break Nate's heart. Spot on. Spot on. What are your thoughts on this game?
Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football, wicked game between the Dolphins and Rams. This Rams team, man, way better than it's 2 years in a row where they're just playing above expectations. And I mean, at one point you got to think they were done this season. They're 4-4. And as crazy as that is, that's in the NFC picture for playoffs. And it's also in their division picture. Dolphins, man, it's a tough game. I mean, it's tough. You ran into the Bills. And also, they're, like you said in the text, that's 2 weeks in a row off of walk-off field goals. And the week prior, man, was Tim Boyle. And it's just 2-6. What could be with this Dolphins team? And I hate to say that that's going to continue. Give me those Rams minus the 2.5. I took the Dolphins once. I don't do it often. I won, and I'm running away from the table with my chips. And I'm cashing them in on Rams minus 2.5 on Monday night.
Fair enough. Monday Night Football. Bobby.
I got the Rams minus 2.5 in this one as well. Colin, I know you mentioned the Broncos earlier as one of the most underrated D lines. I do think the Rams have one of the better young defensive lines in the NFL as well. And at the end of the day, McVay's a stud. So I like the Rams. I do think it is going to be a close game. 2.5 really sealed it for me. If this was 3, I could see it being a push. But like I said, give me the Rams minus the 2.5. So I do think they're getting hot. Kyron Williams is also a stud. Have him in fantasy as well. So shout out. So
week of the Dolphins losing on a last-second field goal, and then the Rams cover though.
Yeah.
I mean, who says no? I'll take it.
Colin.
Shaky week last week for the Rams in Seattle. I almost just chalked that up to a weird division game between two teams that are trying to find their footing. I heard this on the radio earlier. I can't remember who it was talking, but they said a couple weeks ago the Rams were talking about maybe trading a couple of their offensive weapons. Now they're looking like they're not bolstering up because I don't think they made any big moves today. But they're kind of trending in the way of making the playoffs instead of being the sellers that they might have been a couple weeks ago. Love the 2.5. If it's 3.5, I probably go Miami here just because they have lost consecutive weeks on last second field goals. But the 2.5 number, I always love that for the home team, especially. Give me the Rams minus the 2.5.
Yeah, short and sweet because I'm lagging again. That's great.
No, you're clear. You're clear on our end.
Am I clear on your? Okay, maybe I don't know. Either way, it's Rams minus 2.5 here because Dolphins are gonna lose on their last second field goal. We'll tie it. Tua for the third straight game will walk off the field with either the lead or in a tie game, and the Rams will just march down the field and beat us with probably a 73-yard field goal this time. Let's just back it up a little bit more and break my heart even more. Also, the Dolphins on prime time are really bad, and that's just like a tradition for us. We're awful on prime time. I hate when we play prime time games because I know we're gonna suck, and it's really hard to want to watch that. So, it's Rams minus 2.5. Like the way the offense looked against Buffalo, like the way the offense looked against Arizona. Now the defense decides they don't want to try. What, you fuckers can only play good football when Boyle's at QB? What the hell? Figure it
That's so
out.
true.
I
So
think
true. And you got Nate, just the national media and just everybody chirping you if the Dolphins look bad. Trust me, when the Bears were given primetime games when they were the worst team in the league, and it's like
Yeah.
it's just because of the fucking C on the helmet. And it's like, why are we putting this terrible team out? And I just have to hear it. And it's like, man, it sucks.
Yeah, it's not fun when your team is not good and they're getting primetime games, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
Seats, you know.
All right, let's get. Yeah, Colin gets it. All right, let's get into mortal locks for the week. And I'm gonna be quick because I feel like I'm lagging. Maybe I'm not. It looks like it on my screen. If you guys can see it, it's choppy. And this is perfect because we clean swept them. Choppy. He got his first sack last week, and then he committed a brain dead offsides penalty. He got the chop, and I looked at Kevin. I was like, chop, and then he jumped offsides. I was like, that guy
Brain
fucking
dead. That's
sucks.
hilarious, man.
So we just clean swept them. Mortal lock of the week: Los Angeles Rams -2.5.
Ooh, I love that, man. I love that.
We're gonna lose by 3. We're gonna lose on a last second field goal, you guys, because we're gonna be up by 10 again, up by more than 7 points for like the 4th or 5th straight football game, and we're just gonna piss down our leg and walk out of that stadium with a 3-point loss. Rams -2.5. Addison.
That's so heartbreaking. Because I could see it being a reality. I've taken this team before, and I'm taking them with a big spread on their side, and it's because their offense is potent and they're going up against a suspect defense. Give me the Bengals plus the 6.5 in a shootout against the Ravens. I think they could win outright just because they had the game in their hands the first time and they fumbled it before they could kick it in. And I don't think Joe Burrow will allow that to happen this time. I think they'll get the job done, move to 5-5, and move those Ravens to 6-4. So give me those Bengals plus a 6.5 though for the mortal. They don't have to win, but plus a 6.5.
I like that one. Bobby, mortal lock.
4 right now.
Huh?
Wait, what?
I might have 4 mortal locks. I said it. I don't even care. Give me a 4 and parlay them right here, right now. Give me the Bills -4.5. Give me the Eagles -7. Give me those Lions -3.5. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna sprinkle in a little Cole Kmet anytime touchdown score. Bob's mortal lock parlay of the week. Thank you. Write me when
I
that
wrote
check
all those
clears,
down.
baby. Write me when that check clears.
That's gonna slap.
That's hitting. That's definitely
Everybody
hitting.
bopping each other around.
Okay. Those are Bobby's mortal locks for the week, everybody. Colin, mortal lock.
It's a shame they don't have touchdown scorers out yet, because I was going to try to build that on the fly and give you some odds on that. That's got to be over 1,000 for sure.
Has to be.
Maybe
And
like
it's cashing,
1,300.
and it's cashing.
Cash
Easy.
and I've gone back and forth between a few. I really don't want to put my chips on all the tables looking ahead towards the locks of the week. Give me the Dallas Philly over 41.5. I feel like that's a touch low. I think Philly probably scores in the upper 20s, lower 30s. I think Dallas can do enough to get 10-ish, 10 to 14 points themselves. Cooper Rush is not as good as Dak, but he's not as bad as most other backups in the league. He did put a couple balls in some good spots on Sunday against Atlanta. So give me the over there. 41.5 is fairly low for these two teams. Look for Sirianni to run it up as well.
That's what I was gonna say. The way the Eagles' offense is cooking and the way he's a dickhead, I could see him being up by 20 and going for it on 4th down.
Oh yeah.
Colin, hottest segment on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Colin's locks. Hit the applause button. Come on, man. What are we sitting on the year? I have it written down here. What are we? 19-8 on the year. That is crazy hot. What you got for us this week?
That is stanky. So it's keeping the theme of last week, the last couple of weeks, 1 straight bet, 1 teaser, 1 money line parlay. Kind of going with my mortal lock of Dallas Philly over. My straight bet this week is going to be Philly's team total over 24.5. I like them to, A, run it up as we mentioned. B, Dallas's defense sucks against the run. Eagles have a 2-headed monster with Hurts and Barkley, and as well as Devontae Smith had a hell of a grab that we haven't talked about over this weekend as well. One-handed snag at the feet in. Incredible. So give me the Philly team total. 24.5 is a little sketch because 24 is a really good number, but I'll still take it. The 3-team 5-point teaser hit last week with ease. We're going to take the Bears from 6.5 down to 1.5. Like the Bears to win by 2 or more at home here. We're going to take the Chargers from 7.5 down to 2.5. Like the Chargers to win by 3 or more at home. And we're going to take the Eagles from 7 down to 2 as well. Like Philly to win by 2 or more. And that game plus 180 odds yet again this week. Seems a little free. 3 favorites to win by 3 points or more. Love that bet. Last one, moneyline parlay. Usually I like to try to be kind of safe with the moneyline parlay. 2 teams I really think are going to win, kind of hover around that plus 100 odds. This week I'm going to go a little bit of a stretch, and it's going to boost those odds a little bit. We're going to take the Niners, so that's the safe player. We're going to take the Niners on the money line, but we're going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers on the money line as well. Talked about earlier, maybe it's my Cowboy bias. Still don't fully believe in Washington. Steelers off the bye. Gives us a plus 237 on the odds there when you parlay those two. So that's the locks of the week. Let's hit another 3-0, 3-0.
Love that, man.
Yeah, that's a great one. Pittsburgh and Niners money line. Getting both those teams plus 237. That's fantastic. Those are great.
Both
odds.
road, both
love
off the
those.
bye.
Addison, outrageous take for the week. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Colin, cut you off.
Oh, I was just saying both on the road, both off the bye. Both two have really good head coaches, so that's why. Go ahead, Addison.
Yeah, for outrageous take here, it's going to be in this Bills-Colts game. And give me the Colts offense to bounce back a little bit, but it's not through Joe Flacco. It's through the ground game. We've talked about how the Bills like to give it up on the ground. Give me Jonathan Taylor, $150 and 2 tuds on the ground. Colts still lose. Colts still don't cover, but Jonathan Taylor is a bright spot of the offense, and that's it. I know Flacco, it hurts having him in, but I think the Bills just struggle that much that in the Colts, the way they looked in the past this last game, the passing attack, that they're going to really barrel down and use Jonathan Taylor as much as they can. So I'm expecting 25 to 30 carries. Like I said, $150, 2 tuds.
Okay. That would be crazy if he puts up those numbers.
On that note, Jonathan Taylor did have a 5-touchdown game against the Bills as well.
Let's make it a 5-touchdown game. $175. Come on.
I'm going to go bet on that. See if you can even bet on that.
Yeah.
That would be electric. All right. We don't have any Sage's sleepers for the week. Unfortunately, he hasn't sent me any. We might add them in at some point. Who knows? But that's all I've got. You guys got anything you want to add going into week 10 of the NFL season? Double digits.
I know, it goes too fast. And so thanks for sticking around and checking out the videos and everything, and keep commenting away because we love to see it. Just sickening to think the NFL season is over, halfway over, and almost done. Yeah. I mean, we got the playoffs as well after, but the regular season, most likely the Bears are done in 8 weeks. Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. I love people that comment. I love commenting back and forth. Like the guy who said last week on our Colts video, he disagreed with everything we said. He's like, January Joe is going to lead the Colts. They can win a Super Bowl. And I commented after the Colts game and I said, what about January Joe, buddy? What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Well,
So,
it's not January yet.
Well, right, true, I guess, but you got to get to January.
Yeah, true.
That's
you
fair.
know. So comment down below. I love it when people want to predict shit against us and they're right or we're right. It's always fun to go back and forth in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Just videos, 3-4 videos every single week, breaking down breaking news, going over everything for you guys so that way you don't have to. That's all we've got for you guys on this week's show for NFL Week 10. We will see you all next week.
Peace.